Only got 15% left, so we're gonna power through.
Yes.
If I die on Instagram, there's a reason, and it's just because my phone's not charged. Hi, everybody! Facebook world, Facebook family. Welcome to the Gossip Girls broadcast. I'm here with my beautiful friend, Keegan Paige. This is the marketing maven herself. Absolutely love her. She got me into my entrepreneur life. Well, actually, I had kind of been into the entrepreneur life a little bit. She tweaked it and like made it better.
You're hilarious.
So, for those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, my name is Ashley. I am the CEO and founder of Enriched Life by Design. I am also the director, producer, and talk show host of Gossip Girls. Now, on Gossip Girls, we do more than gossip, obviously. We talk about money, marketing, business, entrepreneurship, you name it. Sex, kids, family. There is no topic that is untouchable. We pretty much touch on everything. Also, sometimes we're a little unfiltered. So if you have children in the room and you don't want them to hear certain things, tell them to put their earmuffs on. Hey, Brian. Thanks for popping on, buddy. All right. So tonight we are going to be covering a few topics. We're going to learn a little bit about Keegan's story, what got her into entrepreneurship, learn a little bit about her past, some of the new exciting things that are happening in her life right now. Everything that she's dumping into the online space is just amazing. She's got so many things going for her, and it's just fantastic. So I hope you guys stay on and tune in. If you're catching the live, throw up some hearts. Let me know you're hearing us okay. And if you're catching the replay, please let me know so that I can come back and say hi to you guys later. As always, I always ask you to like, share, and comment on my post. Shares are actually really great for me because they expand my market that much further. And we want to get this out in front of as many people as we can. Because come on, there's like 2 billion people on Facebook and I want them all to see me. So diving in, Keegan's story. So let's go back a little bit. What did you used to do before you became an entrepreneur?
So before I dove into the entrepreneurial space, I did massage therapy for a living. So I loved it. I have always wanted to be like a doctor or even a social worker or a counselor. I just wanted to be of help to somebody because I knew that's what I needed when I was a little girl. I'm not saying that I didn't necessarily have that support, but for some reason in my childhood growing up, I felt like I really needed some support and I wanted to do that for people. So whatever it was, it drew me to it. And that's kind of what brought me into massage therapy, where it's like, I can help people. It's therapeutic. It's, I love, like, I always loved massaging people at like sleepovers and stuff. Slumber party. So I dove into massage therapy and it was amazing. Like all through high school, I almost like flunked high school. I didn't do very good. I don't know why. Honestly, actually, I do know why. I just didn't try. And so I went to massage therapy. I actually started getting a lot of, like, I was straight A, which was crazy. And I'm like, oh, this isn't me. Like, I swear, if you saw me in high school, you'd be like, you would be shocked that I was getting these grades. But I was just so obsessed with it. I was just so obsessed that I got to help people on a daily basis.
Well, you found something you were passionate about.
Absolutely. And I loved it. And then I got pregnant. And with that pregnancy, I just finished school. So I needed to work extra hard so I could get through my pregnancy, have my baby, and then go back to work. Like I wasn't taking any time off of work. So I pretty much worked my body really, really hard. And before that happened, I didn't really know, but I actually had a joint condition that I now know of. And this joint condition just made my joints really, really soft. So what happened is, throughout my pregnancy, we have this hormone throughout our body called relaxin. It softens everything so we can have our child. Well, I was really soft. So when I went back to work 2 weeks later after I had my son, my body was essentially collapsing and it wasn't good. I was getting pain everywhere. Everybody gets pain. It happens. But it was just unexpected and it was actually tarnishing my career. So I only had my career for 3 years and that's what brought me to my entrepreneurial journey. And I found affiliate marketing and I built my own business and I got to share it with so many people and it's been a blessing. I was able to leave my job. I now work from home. I have my sweet little 3-year-old boy who's sick right now, that poor thing. And
the worst.
They're crazy. So yeah, it's been quite the journey and I've had so many amazing, like, I've had a lot of bullshit go on in my last year of being an entrepreneur, but every single time I've gone through something negative, it has literally shot me up and I hit something amazing and then I got negative again because not necessarily being tested, but it's almost like, I don't know, seeing if I'm paying attention, if I'm willing to stick with my growth and keep growing and not give up.
Yeah, well, we hit those targets and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, I can relax for a minute. But sometimes we get too comfortable. And it's like, oh, I don't need to do that today. I can put that off till tomorrow. And rather than being like, oh my God, I made it to this point, let's push and hustle so that the next time I get to that next level, I'll be like, oh yeah, okay, now I can relax a little bit, right?
And that's exactly how growth happens. Like humans are constantly growing and evolving, like we have been for billions of years. I don't even know how long. We just have forever. That's just how it is. And even animals and all these things. So as soon as we get stagnant, we run into problems and then life gets hard, but then it gets hard. So we pull back even more and it gets more stagnant because it's hard. And that's actually really negative for people. And that's how people get sick. And that's how people have to start taking all these medications and depression and anxiety. And that's where it comes from. Whereas our brain it wants to keep us safe. So it thinks that keeping us safe is, you know, holding us back from doing those hard things and from growing. So when when something throws this huge bill at you, like let's say you're making a lot of money and woohoo, it's going great. And then all of a sudden you get this huge bill, like taxes, or your furnace blows or whatever.
Your dryer died.
My dryer literally died. I just got a new one. Thank God. But it is, I believe it's almost like I hate saying the word test. I don't know what I'm trying to look for, but it's like okay, here's a hurdle. Can you get over it and can you grow? Or are you going to stay behind that hurdle and fall back and fall back? And fall
are you going to put your big girl panties on and handle your shit? Or are you going to sit in the corner and cry about it?
So true.
Right? We all have options. We all have choices. And I hate when people are like, oh, it's too hard, or, oh, I was dealt the wrong hand, or whatever. Bullshit. You fucking make your life the way you want it. And the 100%. Sooner you realize that, the sooner things get easier for you. And I am a true believer in that, especially in the last year.
Same. We grow to, what's that word I'm looking for? We just grow to be able to withstand and to handle whatever life throws at us.
Yes.
And it's not that life is happening to me.
Yes.
It's that we are happening to life.
Yeah.
And we are taking life and
it's just happening.
It's just happening. It's not like against you. No. It's not for you. It's, you know, actually it is for us. But at the end of the day, life is happening for us. And if we decide to think of it that way or think of it negatively, it can affect us that way.
Absolutely.
So going back to my entrepreneurial journey, it's been so hard for me. It's getting easier to step over those hurdles and work over them. I was always in my whole life, and this is probably why I almost failed high school, is every time a hurdle came, I let it consume me and I wouldn't step over it and I'd cry and I'd stress and I'd get so frantic about it.
And I think especially for women, and I don't know how, I can't speak for men, but especially for women, and in high school, I mean, we deal with bullies constantly. I mean, girls are catty. They call each other out. I mean, I remember being in high school and dealing with it on the regular. And then I got to a point, well, actually in elementary school, this actually happened. I almost transferred schools. I lived in a really small town. I was being bullied all the time. My mom remembers me coming home from school, like crying almost every single day. I mostly hung out with guys because they didn't treat me like crap. And I loved sports. So I had that in common with them. I played soccer with them and I just ignored the girls. It was fine. I liked that and it kept me happy. But going into grade 6, I had an option to transfer to a town that was about 20 minutes, half an hour from where I grew up, to take a French immersion course. And I was all for it. The paperwork was signed. I was sending it in. It was 2 weeks before the end of the school year. And I remember going to my mom and being like, I'm not running away. Like, no, I'm just not. Yeah. I'm going to fight through this. And the next 2 years, we didn't have a junior high. So the next 2 years of high school were hard AF. Especially because when you're like 12 and 13 years old, you're going through like that awkward transition stage where you're just like, you don't know what you're doing with yourself. Like I look back at some of the clothes I used to wear. I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking? Or like I chopped my hair off. Like, why? So anyways, total side rant there. But like that's something that I learned, that I wasn't gonna let those hurdles stop me from being me and doing the things that I believed in. And it did get easier, and I just stopped hanging out with those people that were awful to me, and I found other people that I resonated with, and I've carried on with that through my life, just being me. Like, I don't give two shits who you are. If you're going to treat me like shit, we're not friends.
Yeah, no doubt.
Period. And I don't have to put up with your crap, right?
Absolutely.
And I think in all parts of life, you have to look at it that way. Like, if something's giving you a really hard go and you're not understanding it, you can, one, completely give up. Two, say, okay, I'm not going to focus on that right now because I'm not good at that right now. There's something else that I know I'm good at, so I'm going to focus on that instead.
Absolutely.
Or three, you dive in and you just like say, nope, I'm going to understand this. I'm going to work at it until I get it. And then you're going to feel really good about it when you do get it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no really right or wrong way.
No, you have options, people. You have choices. You don't have to stick with one thing. Like, you don't have to become a mechanic because your dad's a mechanic. You don't have to be a nurse because your mom was a nurse. You should find the things in life that you're passionate about and go for it. If it means, like, I'm thinking about possibly moving to Australia. I've been a dental assistant for 10 years. I'm really freaking good at my job. Hey, Julie, thanks for popping on, girl. Hey. I work for a man who is the president of the Canadian Dental Association. He's been my mentor for 10 years.
That's amazing.
Like, I not to brag, but I know my shit. And I was always good at school. So it just it's something that I'm definitely thinking about. I don't know for sure if I'm going to do it, but it's in the back of my mind. I'm playing around with the idea. I'm like, why not? Plus, I get to move my family to Australia and experience something really cool for 4 years.
So true.
Right?
So
and come back and like the world's my oyster. I could do whatever I wanted. So it's definitely something that I'm playing with, but my entrepreneur journey right now is where I'm at. And I'm focusing on that right now. But yeah, definitely playing with some ideas. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Why not, right?
And this all will grow.
You only have one life.
That's just it.
Right?
We need to grow and we need to evolve. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, the way that I look at some people and, they just stick with one thing and they do it for the rest of their life. Or as you said, like, my dad was a mechanic, so I'm going to be a mechanic.
Yeah.
And that's almost what I fell into growing up is I just went and did office and business because that's what my family did. My mom did marketing, which is kind of funny. So
now you're marketing.
Now I'm marketing. My grandpa did accounting, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm just going to do that because that's all I'm good for. But really, we do whatever the fuck we want. It doesn't matter. So my family was almost shocked that I did massage therapy. But they were happy because I was happy.
Totally.
And to be able to break away from the norm or what we think we're supposed to do is so invigorating and inspiring. And that's one thing I tell people all the time is we're not always going to be motivated. We're not always going to be inspired, but make yourself your motivation and your inspiration. Look back at what you were good at and what has brought you to where you are now. Yeah.
Well, and that's something that you actually taught me too, was that I, was struggling with some things within our business. Mm-hmm. Certain things weren't working for me. And I was like, why? I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. Why is this section of my life not happening? And it was because I ended up focusing on other things within the business that I started getting really good at. Mm-hmm. And now I'm getting a monetary residual income coming in from these other things that I've learned how to do. Right. So when I was really frustrated and you said to me, stop focusing on the things that you're not good at, focus on the things that you are good at, 100%. And just get really good at those things. And then the world's your oyster. And you can and everything else falls into place. It's like when you start to really hone in on those things that you're good at and get really good at it, all of a sudden, all the little other jigsaw pieces just sort of like,
they kind of blend together.
Together. Right?
Come along with the journey.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like if you chase something for too long, it pushes away from you that much harder.
Yeah, the resistance.
The resistance is there, right?
100%. Yeah, we kind of like push it away. And then, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And if we try to do it too hard and it's really not for us, we're going to resist it. We're going to push it away. It's almost like when people just want to make all this money and they're so focused on wanting to make money that they're not making money because they're focused on the fact that they don't have that money.
Yeah.
And that's just what they bring about in their life is.
Yeah, I was totally one of those people like a year ago. If you tried to talk to me about manifestation and the law of attraction and stuff like that, I'd just be like, take your hippy dippy bullshit and just whatever. And now I'm like, oh my God, these are real things. Same with the moon cycles. I used to be like, so don't follow the moon cycles. And this last moon cycle, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pay attention this time. My entire family went batshit. Like, yes. my cats weren't sleeping. My dogs weren't sleeping. My kids weren't sleeping. I was hormonal. I was snappy. My husband was temperamental. It was just like, is this moon done yet? Because like, oh my God.
So true.
It was like my house took drugs and we were all messed up.
Wasn't the good drugs.
No, there was no fun. There was no fun.
So truly.
But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, it totally makes sense. I mean, if the moon has all of these pulls on the ocean and water, and we're mostly water, why doesn't that make sense?
Exactly.
Right?
Why wouldn't it affect us?
It would absolutely affect us. And like our girl, Casey Lawrence, or Casey Villard now, she's not Casey Lawrence anymore. But she's doing this course on the lunar rhythm. And I almost dove into it, but I got so much on my plate right now. I had to apologize to her and say, sorry, girl, I just have too much going on. I want to learn about this, but now it's not the time kind of thing. Right. So, she's not like a woohoo hippie or anything, but she definitely follows it and she journals it when it happens and she notices and takes notice when she feels different. And one of the things she mentioned was, that's your time of release. If you want to cry, cry. If you need to yell, yell. If you have to sweat it out, get a good workout on, do something and get those feelings out. You need to purge. And if notice on the next cycle, women, I'm talking to you, how much you want to purge your house or clean or organize. And I was totally that way. I was like, oh my God, my house is a disaster. I was like super, super angry. And I was like, why? Why are all these things happening?
So
then I was like, oh yeah, the moon. It's the moon.
It is. I know. I used to think that was like hippie stuff too, woo-woo. And it's really not. It's just science and it's just really how the world works. And if you want to think it's woo-woo shit, then it's probably woo-woo shit. If you want to think it's science, it's science. You know what I mean?
Ask any doctor who works in an emergency room during the moon cycle. They bring on extra staff during full moons.
Really?
They do.
No way. That's so crazy.
When my aunt used to work in Vancouver, she worked in Surrey of all places. And we all know Surrey's like the ghetto of Vancouver.
Better safe than Surrey.
We're not corny at all.
No.
But yeah, she used to say when there was a full moon coming, they would have a staff meeting and they'd be like, we brought on more staff. Please be aware. All the crazy people came out during the full moon.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
So crazy. What? So crazy.
I had no idea.
I know, right? Anyways, so since we're talking about the moon, I did want to dive into your spiritual journey because you've tapped a lot into that lately, right down to bath rituals and that sort of stuff.
Yes.
So I want to talk to you about routines and rituals. So let's start first with your work routine or what you do first thing in the morning to set your mindset for the day.
So first thing in the morning, I find that your morning sets up your day 100%. So, this, it kind of is with my spiritual journey. I didn't really understand spirituality or anything when I started this, but with what I do in the morning is when we wake up and get to do something check something off of our list, automatically it sends a win to our brain. So winning, we check something off our list. So 9 times out of 10, I'm going to do my gratitude in the morning. What am I thankful for? I say this all the time, but I'll write down, I am thankful for my thumbs because I can type and talk to my best friend who lives 2 hours away from me. Or I am thankful for my kiddo because he puts a smile on my face every single day. Or I am thankful for paper because I can write on it and write my gratitude in the morning. The most random things, I write 10 things down, what I'm grateful for and why I'm grateful for it, because it really makes me think. We really want to set it in. So that's one of the rituals that I do in the morning. I think it's so important, waking up early, getting into a routine. Honestly, I'll say this right now, it really doesn't matter what our routine is, because whatever we believe works will work as long as we have a routine with it.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, oh, like what people worry about the how. I used to as well. So that's why I can really connect with this is like, so should I do gratitude first and then drink coffee and then do stretching? Like what's the recipe? And it's like, it really doesn't matter as long as you feel good doing it.
There is no secret sauce.
There really isn't. Like we can do anything. I can literally like crack a beer every morning at 5 a.m. and be like, this is my ritual.
And it works.
Right.
So keep chatting. I'm just going to go and grab my charger because my phone is about to die and I don't want to lose my Instagram feed. So sorry guys.
So
time out.
Welcome to the Keegan show. But that was like, I think it's so important to have some sort of routine in the morning because it does set us up for the day. And I have been one of those people that wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Like, don't lie. I'm sure you guys wake up on the wrong side of the bed a lot as well. And you're not stuck on the wrong side of the bed. You can actually shift your energy, shift your thoughts, and start to have a better day. And I am sure you guys can agree that, you know, one morning I wake up and I'm just kind of bitchy and I don't want to, you know, go to work. I don't want to do anything. Then I stub my toe. Then I drop the jug of milk. Then I forget my wallet at home or whatever it is. All of a sudden I have a really shitty day because it started out bad. But we can change that. We are the creators of our own reality. So that is why I think morning routines, whatever that looks like for you, is so pertinent and important to be able to dive into that and really hone in on, you know, what makes me feel good.
Yeah.
You know, is it a long shower in the morning to get warm? Is it my makeup? Is it getting ready?
Amy, thanks for popping on, girl. And yeah, I'm just gonna take a quick shout out. Hey, Brittany and Jenna, you guys, thank you so much for popping on tonight, girls. Love you. Mwah.
So amazing for the support. But spirituality for me too is like, I never really understood it. All my friends went to church when I was growing up and I was jealous. Like I wasn't told to go to church. Yeah. And spirituality and religion are very similar. Yes, they're very different, but there's such a common ground beneath the two. And I've just always, growing up, I was so interested in going to church, but you hear people say like, there's no such thing as God and all these things, all these religious things. Yeah. And I just didn't understand. Like my mom didn't force me to go. So when I learned about spirituality, I'm like, wow, like this is just scientific. Like it's not a story that somebody wrote. Yeah. This is science down to a T, like cellular level, what is going on with our brain. And even through massage therapy school, hey Shania, even through massage therapy school, learning about the brain and the nervous system was my favorite. So as soon as I learned about spirituality and the law of attraction and manifestation, I was like, this just really aligns with me. This just makes sense because that was my favorite subject in massage therapy school.
So now we're going to go into a little bit of a dark side of your life because I think spirituality totally ties into this.
Yes.
And I think, you know, had you been more equipped at the time that you went through your trauma, having that spirituality would have been like life-changing, right? It would have totally expanded your mind at that moment. But I do believe that certain things happen in your life for a reason to bring us to the point that we're at. Yes, it sucks when we go through a trauma. None of us want to go through something awful, but I truly believe that those things need to happen to us so that we can create something out of ourselves to help others.
Yes, I agree.
Right?
100%.
Because some people they honestly can't pull themselves out of a trauma. And looking at you now, looking at where you're at, I would have never known in a million years that you had gone through a traumatic experience until you told me. So same with like my last guest, Emily. Wouldn't have had a clue that she lost a baby and had to deal with that. Yeah. Because like when she talks about it, she's so like, she talks with conviction and this passion that I'm just like, girl, you need to start like a seminar for like this kind of stuff.
Yes.
Because so many women go through this trauma and they can't come out of it. So let's talk a little bit about your trauma and then we'll come back into the spirituality thing. So what was it exactly that happened to you?
So actually January 6 years ago, I was sexually assaulted by an uncle of mine. So it was my blood auntie's husband. And that was kind of traumatic. It was like at 1 a.m. in the morning. I woke up to it. It was winter, like January. We had like 3 feet of snow that night. So I just like drove home. And yeah, that was really traumatic. It was a day after I started dating my spouse, who I'm still with, Cody, and I just didn't know how to handle it. I just went within and I bottled it up.
Yeah.
And finally, I decided to go to counseling. And honestly, counseling is super important, but it didn't cure anything for me. It just helped me kind of talk about it. But I was so reserved to talking about it because I didn't know how. That at counseling, I wouldn't talk about it. I would talk about other shit, which was like trivial stuff, but I wouldn't talk about the trauma. So I swear half of the counselors that I went to, they were like, did this actually happen to her? Like, she doesn't say a thing about it. But a year later is when I started massage therapy school.
That just means you had bad counselors.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like not asking the right questions.
Exactly. So anyways, a year later, I went to massage therapy school and I left my hometown. And that really took me out of my comfort zone, which is going to rattle the shit inside. And it's going to change the trajectory of how I was feeling and what was going on. So I went into a depression, and I never experienced depression before that. After my sexual assault by my uncle, I never experienced depression. And I believe it's because I bottled stuff up so much. So when I experienced depression, I literally thought I was a broken human being. Like, I had no idea what was going on. I thought I needed to go to a psychiatrist. Like, I was suicidal and I didn't understand. I'm like, nothing's happening. Nothing's changed. I'm doing amazing in school, straight A's. What the fuck is going on? And fast forward, I was going to more counselors. I went on anti-anxiety and depression medication, and that is just, it helped. It honestly made me feel better. It made me feel more human. It numbed a lot of stuff. Yeah. But it helped. It served its purpose at that time. And so fast forward, I had a baby. And then after having a baby, our hormones changed again. Oh, God. So I went into a postpartum depression, and it was really bad. Suicidal thoughts. And finally, a counselor of mine, she was like, have you read Personal Development? And I'm like, no. So she got me starting to read something called Self-Compassion, which is amazing. I highly recommend it for anybody just to read something about self-compassion, because it changed everything for me. And then I started diving into meditation, the law of attraction, and that opened up a can of fucking worms. Like, I was like, this is a magic. How come I've never heard of this before? Yeah. And soon later, a few months down the road, I did something called EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. So what it does is it takes that trauma in our brain. It's like a filing cabinet that exploded when you go through trauma. So that's why a certain look, a smell, a place, a person, all of a sudden you can have a traumatic experience all over again. It's like you're experiencing that same thing all over again. So anyways, what happens with EMDR is they make you go through a process in your brain of thinking about the trauma, as daunting as that sounds, to go through that experience again. Yeah. But they move their fingers, they tap on your knees. It's all about moving the eyes, eye movement, desensitization, reprocessing. So you're going to reprocess all those files in your filing cabinet and put them back in order. So you're not so sensitive to that smell or that
scatterbrain. You
don't have that scatterbrain. Exactly.
Gotcha.
So I went through that. That again changed my life. It's all these things that is building up that makes you stronger and more resilient to what is going on. Right. So after that is I was a different person. I started not to care what people thought of me. I was a very big people pleaser. So I'm like, I don't care if I wear this color or whatever that shit that I was thinking about. And then I got into a deeper spirituality, and that's when I started really understanding about the universe and the energy levels, and what you put out, you get back, and all those other things. And I swear it made my business better. It made me being a mom, like a better mom, a better spouse, better daughter, all around. And I look back on my trauma. It doesn't bother me. I can see that person and it doesn't bother me. I don't feel sick. I don't go into depression. I look back and I'm like, I'm so thankful I went through that I could experience that and learn the stuff that I've learned, because I don't think I would have been able to learn what I learned without experiencing that really negative time in my life.
Well, and then how do you help others, right? Like, by you experiencing that and going through all those experiences, I mean, it's absolutely incredible that you can come out on top the way that you have.
Totally.
And then be able to help others. I mean, you resonate. So many people resonate with you, right? Like, you're very easy to open up to and speak to. And, I've never had a problem opening up to you. I mean, I pretty much tell you everything. But it's incredible. And I truly believe that, like, this business that we've gotten into together, because it's opened up so many doors for us now, because we understand how to do certain things a certain way, we've been able to take our creativity and expand on that and create courses and programs and train other women and other men how to get past a trauma or how to open up to their spirituality or how to look at the law of attraction and, you know, start small and take the building blocks of life essentially and become a better human being.
100%.
Which, who doesn't want to better themselves? Like, it just makes sense.
It really does.
Like, why do you want to be in a stagnant life? Like, every day should be a day of growth and a day of learning. I mean, if you're not learning, you're dying. I say this all the time. Check your fucking pulse. Like,
it's a waste of a day.
It's a waste of a day if you don't learn something new. And I mean, who hasn't heard the saying, oh, learn something new today? Like, you know, we all say that.
Absolutely.
And I think that's huge. So going back into like spirituality and routines and stuff, we were talking about like setting up your day. For me, it was really funny. I tried I was kind of listening to how the other people were doing it. They'd get up first thing in the morning and, you know, Aaron does 10 push-ups and then like makes his bed and then does his gratitude right away. I'm sort of the same way. I have to tweak that a little bit because a lot of the time my husband's still in bed. So I get up, I have to work out right away.
Yeah.
I can't just sit down and do my gratitude right away because I'll sit there and I'll be like, what am I grateful for? Because it's fucking 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm not grateful that I'm up.
Coffee's always number one.
Coffee's always number one. Totally. Oh man. So for me, I find like getting up, getting a good sweat out, you know, it recenters me. It centers my mind. And I tend to think a lot, like same with like when I'm in the shower, right? You're doing a repetitive exercise. You've washed your hair 1,000,001 times in your entire life and all my thoughts come out, right? So that's what happens to me when I'm working out. And then I come and I sit down to do my gratitude and it just pours out of me, right? Like you could just write forever. And the one thing that I'm transitioning to right now is instead of just writing out 10 things, I'm starting to journal.
Amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
So rather than me just like spewing out 10 things that I'm grateful for, I'll write about certain things and then I'll write about why I'm grateful that happened. And I'll continue to go through it. And sometimes I'll change it up and I'll write things that I want to happen, but I'll write it like it's already happened. Right?
Absolutely.
So then you get yourself in that mindset and you start thinking about those things all the time and living this life that is a life you're living a certain way as if it's happened so that you manifest it. And then all of a sudden those things happen. And you're like, you don't even realize that they've happened because you've been living a certain way for so long that all of a sudden when they happen, it's like, it just blows right by you and you don't pay attention to it until you sit there one day and you're like, wait a second, that's new.
So true.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like, so true.
I'm just reading or listening to a book on my drive here called Psycho-Cybernetics.
Yes.
That's really good. It's just about our mind is always wanting to win. And we're essentially, in order to work with our mind, we need to play mind games with it because our mind isn't going to understand the difference between real and fake. If we have a dream, you bet your ass when you wake up, you're like, holy fuck, that like seems so real. Because our brain actually thinks it's happening. So that's like when people are always dwelling on something negative that happened in their life. Guess what? You're going to keep having negative shit happen in your life. You're going to always feel really bad.
Yeah.
And like this random thought that just came in my mind, but I hate it when people are constantly complaining about the government and this stuff. And I'm like, I know it seems unfair, but why complain about it when you really can't do anything about it?
Yeah.
Why not focus on the good that's happening? Don't ignore the bad, but focus on the good because
and if you don't like the way things are happening, get off your ass and fucking do something about it. Quit complaining because nothing's going to change if nothing changes.
Absolutely. And I completely agree with that too. Like, of course, things are going to take time. Don't give up and surrender and be like, oh, whatever, I'm just going to let it happen to me. Take those steps. Yes, it's okay to have days where it's like, okay, I'm not fucking doing a thing today. I'm going to relax.
But you need that too, right?
Yeah, it's
you need to recharge your batteries.
Balance. Yeah, batteries. Charge them.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheers. Wine recharges everything.
Always. But yeah, like I love the brain.
I know you do. And I think that's really awesome. So getting into the things that you really love, because you started building your own courses and your own programs, which I think is just fabulous. But what led you into doing that? Because I know you hired a coach.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you decide on, oh, sorry, I just got a comment and it just like, I have to read it. Oh, I missed it. Harshness I hear.
Yes.
Oh, Amy, I love you, girl. Yes, I will have a comment for you later on. Trust me. But you actually hired a coach.
Yes.
How, first of all, did you decide on your coach and which direction you wanted to go in? And then what was it that made you go, no, like, I'm not just going to be coached by her. Like, I'm diving in, I'm doing this, and I'm building my brand. So,
diving into it.
Yes.
So I found my coach. It was like random. It was like, it just kind of worked out how it did and how everything happened. But I found her through a podcast one day. Her name's Stephanie Bellinger. She's the spiritual boss babe. And
Shout out.
Hey,
Steph.
And I was really getting into spirituality. So this is like 4 months ago. And I just wanted to know so much more. And it just really inspired me. Just the spiritual side. Like, I just didn't really understand it. I'm like, I need to know more of this. Like, when I think of something and I'm curious about it, I'm like, I need to know more. Like, I will do 1,000 Google searches until I know. So I dove into it, and I've always wanted to share my experiences because, again, I use my own life to inspire myself. And I'm like, if I can inspire myself with what I've gone through, I am sure that, you know, there's 2 billion, there's more than 2 billion people on the earth. I'm sure I can inspire somebody else or shed some light or have a certain opinion that other people would understand and respect. And so, yeah, hanging out with Steph, and she was showing me and teaching me a lot of stuff. I really thought, like, I should use this and create my own stuff so that other women can come to me and learn something new, because I have spent so much money on my own personal development.
Yeah.
I have gone through my own experiences. I have done the things, like, people will learn from me, and then I will be able to learn more from the people that I teach too. Like, it's a constant exchange of energy.
It's so funny you say that, because I honestly think that we're in this transition in the world right now where people are sick of the way things are. And we all want to better ourselves and make a change in our lives. We don't all know how to do it. So hiring a coach who's gone through the training and the mental changes, and those things have happened to them already, of course you can learn from those people. And the beautiful thing about what we do is that the internet is so massive.
Yes.
And there's so many people. Like, your clientele is endless. There are women, there are men out there that are just like you, and they're looking for a change. And what's so cool is that one coach can't do it all.
No,
right?
So true. So true.
So we're creating this online community of people who literally rise each other up, and we all learn something new from each other, and we all bring something different to the table. And in doing that, we can help so many different groups of people. It's mind-boggling. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And the people that are like, oh, social media is garbage and I don't have Facebook and I don't, okay, well, you're not using it for good is the thing. Everything has good and bad. That's the way the world works. It has to balance. No matter how much good there is, there has to be an equal amount of bad.
So true.
No matter what. So yes, you're going to go online and you're going to have, oh, this is one of the other topics I actually wanted to get into, but you're going to have trolls. You're going to have people that call you out, call you names, say stupid shit on your posts, whatever. You just have to let that stuff go, because you know what? For every one person that says something bad, 5 people are going to love what you had to say.
So true. So true.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful world we live in, and it's absolutely uplifting. And I just think that if we're using social media for the good things in this life, and there's more of us every single day that are doing so, we're just creating this like little online village of people that just helps each other. Like, we all help each other, whether I'm buying Monet from my girl who's selling the products. I'm helping her business. Well, guess what? She's going to tell someone that I bought that product from her, or I'm going to tell someone that I love this product from her. And it just spirals, and you just end up with like this amazing community where we're all doing this transaction of energy. I don't even look at it as a transaction of money anymore. It's energy, because that's what money is energy.
It is.
And by all of us sharing that with one another, like I help you, you help me. It's all about helping your neighbor, which is funny that you were talking about like the Bible and, you know, God and religion and spirituality and how they're so similar but so different.
Yes.
You know, it all comes down to the same thing, you know, like help thy neighbor. Well, that's what we do online. We all help each other.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. I love it.
I know.
Like it's just
I do too. It's just
I'm
like
so passionate about it.
Of family. And
yeah.
I always tell people, I'm like, even if I never made $1 working online, like the best thing about it is you've created those amazing friendships. Like I could go to these people with a problem in my life that doesn't even concern marketing or my business. Like I just be like, oh, I'm going through a really hard time. Like, yeah, my son is sick or I'm fighting with my spouse. And they're there to support you no matter what the fuck is going on. They're like, this is my friend. I'm going to support them, because once they feel supported, they're going to be able to move forward in their life and start to do those things that they need to do.
Yeah.
And so many people don't have that support in person.
Yeah.
Be it, you know, their family or their spouse or whatever's going on. They don't have that support. So to be able to connect with thousands of millions of people online, even through a screen, it is such an amazing experience.
Yeah. Well, and what's even cooler is that the people who have created these tiny little subgroups of businesses are, you know, fairly successful people. So you know what they do? They create live events. Yes. So guess what? All of us that see each other on screens all the time go to these live events, and we finally get to actually, it's a tangible thing. We get to hug each other. We get to shake each other's hand. We get to share life stories, share a drink, share a meal. Like, it's so uplifting.
Surreal.
And to be surrounded by so many people who feel the exact same way as you and just want to better the world and better themselves and, you know, make this beautiful planet we live on thrive.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's so cool that, you know, I know hundreds of thousands of people online, and yet, yes, once, maybe twice a year, I get to meet up with them and give them a hug and say, oh my God, you got me through such a rough time. Or,
true.
Wow, that tip you gave me really worked. Thank you. Like, it's just, it's amazing. And I can't talk enough about it, but we're going to zone back in. So let's talk about your upcoming programs and your coaching experiences and all of that, because man, the stuff you're putting out is so good.
Thank you.
You like your journaling techniques and your little prompts and all that stuff. I just love it. Just love it.
You're sweet.
So what have you done and what do you have coming up?
So I did a 5-day challenge, and that was really fun. You know, I'm really focusing on marketing. And
hey Alex,
that's so funny you said that the same time. I'm really focusing on marketing, and with that marketing, I really found in my journey that in order for me to be a good marketer, I really needed to hone it on myself. So that comes with the EMDR and the gratitude and the journaling and all these kinds of things. So I have found in my journey these little techniques that have really helped me. And I work with a ton of marketers, and I know a ton of people that have some sort of multi-level marketing or online business or whatever it is, direct sales, network marketing. And they seem to kind of hit a block, and they're like, I don't know why I'm not getting so far. How come this person's so successful and I'm not, and we're doing the same thing? Well, at the end of the day, I think what it really comes down to, I know what it really comes down to is what's going on the inside. Do we really believe that we're a professional marketer? Do we really believe that we're a 6-figure earner? You know, what does that look like? So I did a 5-day challenge. It was really fun. And I'm creating a course that dives into that even deeper and really strips away the layers of the bullshit. I love to say that, stripping away the bullshit layers to really find your core and who you are and build up from that and then flourish from that. And that's really what I've wanted to dive into, because again, it has been so fucking transformative for me.
Yes.
And, you know, I didn't even realize that was affecting my marketing. Like before I even learned about spirituality, I did multi-level marketing and it never worked for me. I'm like, right? What the hell?
What the hell?
And people think like, oh, I got to direct message people all the time, and I got to do this and post my products all the time. And yeah, that can help. It gets you out there, but that is not the only thing.
And
There's
it's
so much more to do.
the old way of doing things.
It really is.
There's an easier way, people.
There is. And Alex is right. Like it all starts with our belief system, and it really does. And like Alex, I saw that you're reading the book right now. I just bought the audiobook Psycho Cybernetics. Like it is so amazing. I'm like 2 hours through it already. It's like a 12-hour book to listen to, but it's so good. It's essentially like tricking your fucking brain, playing those fucking mind games and changing the way that we believe about ourselves, who we are, about the world, changing those beliefs. So then we can build on top of that and really flourish from there. Yeah. It is a fucking good book. Like I'm so excited for you to read it.
Yeah, no, and I have it. I just haven't started it because I started Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza, who is just mind blowing, literally. Brain junkie.
Same girl.
Totally. The brain is fascinating.
It is.
That this like organ can just do so many things. It's absolutely fascinating. But yeah, I've been diving into that and it's good.
It is good. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. That is, I think it was the second personal development book I read. The first one was Self-Compassion by Kristen Neff.
Right.
And Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, that's the one where I learned of law of attraction and meditating. And I'm like, this is fucking magic shit. Like, what the hell? And it really pulled me out of my deep depression.
Yeah.
It wasn't the drugs. Like, the drugs numbed the shit. I didn't want to kill myself anymore. That sounds really negative. But it was so good to be able to center myself. Because I always looked in the past like, I should have done this better. And I'm so worried for what is yet to come. Why are we so focused on the past and the future when we can focus on the now and just understand that shit's happened. It's going to happen. It's shitty. Yeah. More shit's going to happen in the future, but don't worry about it. Yeah. Don't stress about it.
Life's not perfect.
So good.
Nothing's ever going to be perfect. You can't always have your ducks in a row. I actually, especially lately, I've really tapped into the fact of like, when I get an idea, do it. Mm-hmm. Don't sit on that idea because before you know it, somebody else is doing it and you're like, damn it. Or you forget. Yeah. Or that.
I call it inspired action.
Well, there was something.
You're getting these downloads from the universe.
Yeah.
Spirit. And we're like,
yeah. Well, there was a couple of things that happened actually just yesterday. Some people were doing some big things and I was like thinking about it. I was like, I'm pretty sure that I talked to you about doing something like that back in like June of last year. And now other people who, you know, they definitely have a little bit more success in this business than we do, but now they're tapping into that. And I'm like, you know, I was sitting there thinking, okay, why didn't I just do that right from the beginning? Oh, because I didn't have enough monetary success yet. I didn't have all the testimonials. I didn't have all this experience. And it's like, why
stacking those excuses?
Yeah. Why do we need those things? Right. If you have an idea and you genuinely believe that you can make something out of it, do it.
Exactly. Do it. I get hung up on that shit.
Right?
I'm an analysis paralysis.
Well, it's funny.
Should I do it?
To circle around, and I'm calling you out on this because this Gossip Girls broadcast was technically supposed to be her and one other girl, which is why it's called Gossip Girls.
Dick.
And the funny thing is that it was our second week. I wanted to do it once a week, and we got into the second week, and I messaged them, and I was like, "Do you guys want to hop on? And like, let's do this." And both girls were like, I just got a buttload of excuses. So I was like, legit.
Like, I got better things to do, like nothing.
No, that's not true. Those are what you were saying. I would say you had legit things that you felt were taking priority over this at the time.
Fair enough.
Right?
Fair enough.
You were prioritizing what was more important to you. And that is absolutely fine. I completely damn ego getting in the way.
It is.
It is. It's true.
Mine's bitchy.
So I was kind of like, I said to Chris after, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of bummed. Like, my girls don't want to do this with me. But you know what? I'm going to do it anyways. So I kept doing it every Saturday. And then Alex, who's on here, God bless your heart, because you came into our chats and you were like, let's do a go live challenge, 21 days. And I was like, I'm in 3 days a week, Like, let's do this. I have been completely consistent. And since doing my Go Lives, my business has actually expanded quite a bit.
It's amazing.
Which I'm loving right now. And I love to talk. So I'm just going to talk because I love to do it. I mean, ask my parents. I was a gabber. That's all I did.
I was, yeah. I know. Ollie is too.
Yeah, so is my daughter. It's genetic.
So,
although Harrison talks a lot too, so we're kind of screwed. But yeah, like it's simple things like that, right? Like when you have an idea and you have a passion about something, just do it. And now that I'm doing this all the time, 3 times a week, I'm like, I got to get a podcast out. Mm-hmm. And now I'm getting my viewers are asking me, do you have a podcast? Which is making me go, I really need to get a podcast out. Because it's just, I want to get my message out there and I want to speak to people and I want them to know that you have options. You don't have to be in a stagnant position. Yeah. You don't have to just be a stay-at-home mom, which is the most fulfilling, rewarding job in the world. But come on, ladies, we all get tired of it. It's like, I know that I'm on this planet for more than just wiping bums and noses all day long.
Exactly.
Right? Like
and making macaroni.
Yeah. And the thing is that if you are a stay-at-home mom, you can take those things you've learned, you can take tips and tricks and things you've learned with your kids and help other moms.
You can monetize anything. Especially now with the internet.
Like, it's a beautiful thing. And the beauty of it is that there are programs out there that, because a lot of women, especially like I was one of them, will be like, but I don't know where to start. Where do I start? Mm-hmm. I don't even know how to start. Like, what do I do?
Focusing on the how.
Right? Focusing on the how. Well, here's the fucking how. Technically, a lot of people will go back to school, but what if you didn't have to leave the house to go to school?
So true.
Right? I'm totally inserting a plug here. And for those of you that don't know what a plug is, it's when I take like my advertising and I sort of just like dip it in. So like what we both did was we found this platform that taught us how to take everything we know, take all of our passions and apply them in a way that works. And when most of the work is done for you, I mean, we say that, this is still fucking hard.
Yes.
Like running your own business is not an easy thing to do. And ask my husband, I literally will work my 2 days and I'm checking my phone the whole time I'm at work. Like I'm constantly checking my phone, checking my messages, talking to leads, in between patients, I'm talking to people. And then I come home and I might start dinner, or I tell Chris, like, can you start dinner? I have 1,000,001 things to do. Yeah. And the beauty of it is that he understands, which is so beneficial because like you've had the spousal struggle.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
huge, which yes, Chris and I have struggled slightly, but like when I tell him I have a go live, like I'm doing my broadcast, this is my job, you need to watch the kids, he has absolutely no problem taking the kids and doing that. And it's a beautiful thing. Like this is not an easy thing to do. And I work at this hard. Like it is an all the time thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop.
The thing about it is so many people think like, oh, do you just like push a button and you start making money? And I wish that would be so fucking cool.
Do you have that feature? Because I'd love to see it.
I would love to do it.
I love when people...
I will buy your easy button.
Yeah. I love when... Yeah, where's that big red button? I love when people message me and they go, what's the startup cost? Does this cost me anything? Is this going to cost me money? And it's like, what business on this planet doesn't cost money? Hey, Craig, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for hopping on. Yeah, like what business doesn't cost something?
So true.
Nothing in this world is free. Like you have to invest something to make something.
Time,
money, energy. It's not just going to happen. And like some people it happens quickly for.
Mm-hmm. Depending on their chapter that they're in already.
Exactly. It's all about, and don't, oh my God, comparisonitis. We could get into that. That's a whole nother thing.
It is.
We've already almost been on for an hour, so we're not going to get into that because that's a whole nother hour. But I truly believe that, you know, you have to be willing to put some skin in the game if you're going to make it work. And if like I've been doing this for a year now. Well, a year of online, not a year of our business. But what am I trying to say here? If it takes me another 2 to 3 years to hit that level of success that in my mind is like, I fucking made it, 2, 3 years is nothing.
Oh, yeah.
My son is about to be 5 years old, and I'm like, where did that 5 years go?
It goes fast.
It goes so fast. So if you're willing to be consistent, put in the time, put in the effort, put in the energy, you're gonna fucking make it. But you can't give up, because if you give up, how are you ever gonna know?
Exactly. How are you going to know? You'll never know.
You'll never know. You got to try, right?
So true.
Well, I think that's a pretty good way to end off the night,
fast.
doesn't it?
Talking about time fast. Fast time.
Fast time. Good times. I'm actually empty.
Me too.
But
Refill.
I'm putting this out there. It's my birthday tomorrow. So she came up so that we could celebrate my birthday because tomorrow's her only day off. So we're going to celebrate tonight. All the wine.
Fine. I'm so excited.
I'd like to cheers, but it's empty.
I still have a drop.
Oh, I don't. Oh, maybe I do.
Classy.
Anyways, guys. Oh, totally classy. Absolutely.
And we didn't mean to like match
No,
color-wise.
we didn't.
Oh, this light doesn't make it look as matchy, but we're pretty matchy.
We're pretty matchy. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Like I said before, if you're catching the replay, let me know. If you're on live, throw up some hearts. Amy, my girl, if you're home and you don't have your kids, you should come over.
Yeah, girl. Good to see you.
Anyways, guys, I absolutely love you. Thank you so much for your continued support. I just appreciate it so much. I will see you. Okay. I don't even know.
I don't know
what
how to
say
end
that.
this now.
No,
We're gonna go sin.
we're gonna go sin. Drink our wine, motherfuckers. Anyways, guys, like I said, I appreciate you so much. Join me on Thursday. I will be live on location in Kelowna. So excited. Oh, Amy's got kids. Anyways, love and appreciate you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Can't wait to see you on Thursday live on location in Kelowna. And I love and appreciate you all. Mwah. Good night, everybody. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.